come to the graduation of our fall 2022 Public Health 360 Fellowship. This is really surreal. So I'm going to allow it to sink in a little bit. 3 months of intensive work, 3 months of being talked at, of being yelled at, 3 months of being vulnerable. I think this is the best moment in this program for me. So once again, Dr. Rami Azwina here, welcoming you to our graduation ceremony. I am looking at each of you. You guys are looking really relieved that this is over. But it is not really over. This is just the beginning of being social change agents. Next slide, please. So this is the agenda we have today, and we got to run through the agenda given time. I'm doing the opening remarks now, and then after that, we're gonna have introduction by all the fellows and GHEP faculty and staff. Then we will go straight to group one. And then after group one, we're gonna have questions, answers, comments, feedback, and then we'll go to group two, questions, comments, feedback, and then we are going to go to closing remarks, and we're gonna have some good music. So I am welcoming everyone, both those joining us in person, on Zoom, and those who are joining us on YouTube via our live transmission. What does it mean to be graduating from Public Health Fellowship? It does not mean graduation. It means the beginning of the role of social change. Over the last 3 months, we believe that you have been equipped with the knowledge, skills, and abilities to become agents of social change in your community. And those communities could be in your local city, it could be at your place of work, it could be at the county level, at the state, national, or even international level. And so I say this is the graduation of one phase and the beginning of another phase. And I just got an email last night from one of our earlier fellows who said that he's got an opportunity for internal move, higher move within his agency in Canada, and he was asking me for some thoughts. So you, at the end of today, will be belonging to a network of group of alumni based across the world. Networking is very important. When you get emails, when you get queries from those colleagues, leverage them and also avail them of your network so that they can get on. So one of the key roles of the Public Health 360 is this network that we have built. I want to encourage you to use that network. One of the things that faculty have been talking about is when and how we can do one international in-person meeting for all Public Health 360 fellows. We are thinking, where is the location going to be? Is it going to be in the United States? Is it going to be in Canada? Is it going to be somewhere in Africa where it will be accessible to many people? So please stay tuned. Is somebody going to host us somewhere in maybe Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, or Ghana, or somewhere that we all can meet in person, put to perspective what we have learned in the form of an international conference and international best practices. So I want you guys, you are the first set ever to hear about this. So I just want you guys to put that in your records, that you may be called upon to be part of the planning for this international first ever meeting for the Peer 360 alumni. So I want to tell you how sentimental these graduations are for me. We have done them many times, but at each point, I look back to each of you. I look back at the journey. We have several students apply to join this fellowship, and we have to turn back a lot of people and make those difficult decisions who to bring on. And at every time is always a bet. I think this person is going to be better than this other person, and we have never been wrong. So it may not seem like it. I hope you see that you have transformed over these 3 months. You may think, oh my God, I didn't learn anything, but I want you to believe that you have transformed. I have seen the growth. I have seen the movement. I have seen the reluctance. I have seen the openness. So a few things I want to talk about today. One is the power of social media. Whether we like them or not, social media has become an integral part of our lives. And as public health professionals, I do really want to encourage you to have a very strong professional presence on social media. Depending on which one that is your favorite, it could be Facebook, it could be LinkedIn, it could be Twitter. Be consistent. People are looking at those. You know, try your best every week or every 2 weeks, try to post something. One of the things you have learned from this program, you can share. And once you begin to do that, you begin to gradually establish yourself as an authority in the field of public health, and people will start coming for you. LinkedIn is very powerful. That's why we spent all the time supporting you with LinkedIn presence. And I really want to commend those of you that shared the graduation ceremony today on your LinkedIn profiles. I saw a lot of activities there, and that tells you what that power is. It's an exponential power. So if you have been sitting on the fence before, if you have been reluctant before about social media, I do really want to encourage you to get in on social media. 2, I do really want you to get into public health if you're not in public health as soon as possible upon graduation. You may not get the role that you had wanted, but once you are in the field, something that happens in public health is first. Nobody wants to be the first person to engage you. But once you get that first opportunity, everybody wants you. So the earlier that you make that determination to get into public health, we are very fortunate. In a way, COVID sadly has opened the world up to remote working. So you can really negotiate a lot of opportunities, remote working, minimal hours you can start with. Think about working for organizations beyond where you live. That gives you that. I mean, you have worked with individuals from different parts of the world. Now in this fellowship, you should be able to really build upon those networks, get into public health as soon as possible. Number 3, continue to improve your skills. There are key skills that people are looking for in the field of public health. Good writing skills, and I think all of you have good writing skills. Using numbers to support your arguments. Remember, we talked about the burden of a disease, the public health burden, looking at it from epidemiological burden. How many people are impacted? How many people are with this illness, with this disease, with this condition, or with this risk factor? How many people does this risk factor or this disease kill? How much does it cost the health system to take care of these people? How much of manpower are we losing by the number of people who die? So the epidemiological burden, the health systems burden, the fiscal burden. The skills, the ability to prepare very solid argumentative slides, very good, well-written position papers, which you have all learned here. And above all, the skill to be very precise in your oral communication. You have all done it. Remember, if you were to meet President Biden in the elevator and he were to ask you, what are you working on? Remember how to really pitch who you are. That pitch will always lead you wherever you are, you know, with friends, in the community, in professional settings. Keep that your pitch with you. So the final one is for you to continue to see yourself as the light wherever you are. You have been handed this light of Public Health 360. Keep the touch, keep the light burning. Always be humble, always be open, always be culturally competent. Remember the Public Health 360 core values. Do not discriminate. Do not be a racist. Be open to transforming the communities where you see yourselves. So I'm going to be really, really sad to see you guys go, but I know you guys are just transitioning. GHEP is always going to be a place for you. Feel free, reach out, email, connect. Even if you want to talk, we are all here to support you. Our goal is in the next 6 months to get you pushing really what your goals are. If you want to get back to graduate school, we are here to give you references. We're here to advocate for you. We are here to talk to jobs. We are here to talk to employers. Or if you want to get to job, we are here to be that organization for you. We will be calling upon you, whether it's from our journal, whether it's from our community programming. We'll be calling upon you to put in practice what you have learned here for us as pro bono volunteers, as pro bono consultants. You know, I know what each of your strengths are, so you may hear from Rowena, our general manager, inviting you to review papers for us, to mentor a high schooler in your area. We ask you to please keep open. If you want graduate school in the United States, we're able to support you and make those arguments with the institutions here in the United States, Canada, as well as in the United Kingdom. So that's all I have. I am looking forward to today. You can see me really smiling. I know you guys are the best. You are the few ones, and I really want to welcome you again and thank every of our alumni who have joined. I've seen a number of you internationally and from here in the States, and friends and family who have come here to celebrate, who have come here to rejoice with you, who have come here to see the fruits of 3 months of intensive work. And I want to thank all your friends and your families for supporting you. You know, making calls, waking up late in the night, working weekends, working at odd hours to join this program. And I always want to remind you the thing that if this were to be very, very easy, we would have like 300 Public Health 360 fellows. There is a reason why we don't have a lot of people, is because it's not easy to be done. So thank you so much. For those of you who are international, I always love you guys because I know it is expensive to get on the internet. I know how expensive it is to put on your videos. I know how expensive it is to wake up in the night with family. So you guys occupy a special place in my heart for your really, really your dedication and solid work and collaboration in this work. So next slide. All right, so we're going to take introductions, and this is actually going to be for our guests so that they will know the people. I'm not the only one who is running this program. I happen to be the chief evangelist of the program. The program runs because we have a group of dedicated people who are really, really committed to the mission of growing the next generation of Public Health 360 public health professionals, especially those who are from minority and underserved backgrounds. There is a reason, because we need the public health workforce to be similar to the public health world. There is a reason why we need more people like you in this profession. All right, so Dr. Susan, introduction.
Thank you, Dr. Romy. First of all, and welcome everyone here, especially our graduates. I crave your indulgence not to be on camera this morning. Forgive me for that. So I'm Suzanne Azuine. My background, I may have introduced myself in the beginning. I have a background in veterinary medicine, pharmacology, and data analytics. So within here in Global Health and Education Project, I am the program director. So I manage all programs GHP offers to our communities here and abroad, including Public Health 360. So it is sad to see you go, but we know everything that has a beginning also has an end. So this is the end, but it is the end that is out of sight, but not out of mind. So
sorry, Dr. Susan.
I think you muted yourself.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I'm sorry for that. I just had a bump and then you lost me. So I was saying to our graduates that it is out of sight, but not out of mind. We will want to have you come back for several things, recommendations, advice, learning. We all learn from each other. So wishing you the best that you wish yourself wherever you're going. And I'm also imploring you that you apply all the tenets and core values that you have learned throughout this process while you are in your community, while you're serving or working or whatever it is. So thank you. Happy to see you go, but I wish you good luck in your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Zubi.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. My name is Dr. Nzube Eboluche. I know most of you have already, went through me in order to enroll into this fantastic program. And I'm really so excited to see each and every one of you from the beginning of this process and now to the end of the program. And I know it was an intensive, rigorous, but a really informative and a good training. I know that most of you are going to use and leverage on and moving on to your career. And as everyone have just said, not sounding repetitive, but we are all here to also help you, guide you through it. And most of our students who live here, they don't just live, they are still connected to us because we are kind of a community. You need to know that in order to succeed, you need a community of like minds, a community that will help you to move up the ladder. We each and every one of us need that. So I'm really looking forward to also seeing each and every one of us maybe once in a while pop in just to know what is going on and see how you can talk to other young public health professionals. And I'm really wishing each and every one of you a great experience as you start off, or if you're already in your professional health, public health professional ladder. I wish you all a great fit, and we are here to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zubi. Dr. CJ.
Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. So my name is Chidubem Eboluche, and I have a master's in public health from Howard University, Washington, DC. I'm the administrative assistant of Global Health and Education Project, and I have an interest in helping the medical and public health field in making data-driven decisions through biostatistics and bioinformatics analysis. And I have a passion working with underserved and minority population. And I'm very excited. I'm very happy seeing you guys leaving to go and, to climb the next ladder of your career using the knowledge, leveraging the knowledge you have gotten from Public Health 360. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'm Brown.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm so happy and excited that to see this day come. You guys have really put in the work. I support the Global Health and Education Projects as an outreach and information technology coordinator, making sure that things are going as planned, technology-wise, and towards our outreach. And I'm happy to see that you guys are here. This day has come, and look forward to see the big projects you guys have developed and the skills that you guys have harnessed. Remember to, put yourself out there to make sure that your professional your professional media, which is your professional social media, LinkedIn, and resume reflect some of those skills that you've harnessed and continue to, progress as you go to the next level. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Brown. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the time for us to hear about who the graduates are. So the introduction here is you have met, okay, let's not be political. So let's say you have met President Barack Obama at Heathrow Airport in London, and he is really in a hurry to get into first class, and you are also rushing to get into your, the class that we all fly, right? We fly the beautiful economy class. So, and he says, "Oh man, I gotta hear about what you're doing." You know the way Obama does. So these introductions are supposed to be really that succinct, clear, so that everybody here can at least live here understanding who you are and what your passion is. So we're gonna follow the order here. So Bernard, you are the first.
Thank you, Dr. Zuni. My name is Bernard Gogo. I am a biologist by profession, and I hold a master's degree in marine plastic abatement at the Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand. Currently, I'm one among the graduates of the Public Health 360 Fellow Program. And in the course of this program, we design different programs. One among is the Lung Cancer Awareness Program, which we'll be presenting in the course of this ceremony. Glad to meet you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Beverly.
Hello, everyone. My name is Beverly Kegwina. I am a designated screening officer at the Public Health Agency of Canada. I hold a master's degree in public health from the Federal University of Technology, Nigeria. I am currently a graduate from Public Health 360. That's from the Global Health and Education Project. So I am a Public Health 360 Fellow. I'm going to be talking about one of the projects I my team and I worked on in the course of this program. I would say one thing that attracted me to public health is my desire to reduce health disparity and promote healthy living in my community. And I'm very fortunate to have developed more skills from global health and education projects. I look forward to telling you more about the project we developed in the course of this meeting. Thank you so much.
Bolaji.
Hello. So my name is Bolaji Adisa. I'm one of the Public Health 360 graduating fellows today, but just to introduce myself proper, I held a master's in public health from University of Brampton, and I currently work within the field of public health. In an attempt to progress career-wise, I had to enroll into this fellowship, and it has been quite impactful. And as we're graduating today, we intend to present on mental health to see what we have done so far concerning implementing mental health awareness project as an intervention within one of the states in US. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Chi Meloga. You are muted.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Iku Akwe Vivian. I hold a bachelor's degree in pharmacy, currently running a master's degree in public health. A Public Health 360 graduate by the Global Health and Education Projects. I worked in a team of 4 to present a project on mental health and education awareness. Right now, we are graduating and I'm so happy about it. I can't wait to tell you more of what we worked on. I hope we meet to see later. Thank you.
Eda.
Good afternoon. My name is Etta Johnson. I have a PhD in public health. I have been in the public health field for slightly over 2 years, and I just graduated from the Global Health and Education Projects 360. Global Health and Education Projects 360 is based in Riverdale, Maryland, and their mission is to reduce health and education disparities, especially among minorities and the disadvantaged communities. In my program at the Global Health and Education Projects 360, we worked on a team of 4, and we designed public health education programs. In fact, one of the latest programs that we designed was on lung cancer, and the target population was African Americans in Prince George's County in Maryland. I want to say that one of the things that really drew me to public health is the interest that I have in highlighting disease risks, particularly among minorities. I look forward to telling you more about myself given a chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Jocelyn.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jocelyn Rodriguez, and I am a consultant for health education programs by profession. I hold a Bachelor's of Science in Exercise Science from Salisbury University, and I am currently one of the fellows graduating today. And I am part of the fantastic team that was able to bring a mental health program, to be able to present with you all, and looking forward to share more about that.
Thank you. Marilyn.
Good morning. My name is Marilyn Murillo, and I am a grants administrator by profession. I hold a Doctor of Education degree from the University of the Pacific in California, United States. Currently, I am so excited to be graduating today as a Public Health 360 Fellow with Global Health and Education Projects. In this role, I have been working with 3 other fantastic team members, an international team, and we have been designing programs to help those most at risk in Prince George's County, Maryland. Our first program was a diabetes awareness and education and prevention program. And the second one, which we'll be presenting on today, is about lung cancer awareness and digital education. One of the things that drew me to public health is my passion for reducing health disparities among the disenfranchised and the homeless. I look forward to the opportunity to tell you more about myself as we proceed today. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. The last, but
hello everyone.
not actually the. Go ahead, Sam.
Hello everyone. My name is Simon Boache. I am Public Health Disease Control Officer by profession. I had a Bachelor of Public Health from the University of Health and Allied Sciences in Ghana. I'm one of the graduates from the Public Health 360 Training Fellowship Program as a Public Health Analyst with the Global Health and Education Project. I would say that the Global Health Education Project is a non-profit, fully registered organization headquartered in Maryland, USA. As part of my training with the Global Health Education Project, I work with 4 other fellows where we developed mental health education program to address mental health disparities in Prince George County. And I would say that one of the things that drew me to public health as a public professional is my passion for making healthcare systems stronger in the African diaspora. I look forward to tell you more about myself as we continue with the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Brown, maybe next year what we're going to do is we are going to put the flags of the countries. So I read, if I'm correct, I have the United States, we have Ghana, we have Thailand, we have Nigeria, we have Canada. So I think that's one thing we can do. And then we can also juxtapose that with affinity countries. So, you know, if you are American, if you're Nigerian American, we can put the affinity country to Nigeria. So, and that we can see actually the map where people have come to join the program. So, but that gives you an idea of the international network that exists here. And if you told anybody you are working with that you have consultants or you have collaborators from outside the country where you're working with, you open up more and more opportunities. So I'm giving you ideas on how to make money and leverage that idea, those ideas. Next slide. Right, so you guys know all of us. Feel free to reach out anytime. This is our emails, you know, for myself, for Dr. Susan, for Zubi, for Chidubem, for Brown. You know, again, I said it, references, career discussions. If you want to continue your education here in the United States, Canada, or UK, if you want recommendations to grad school, if you want to navigate, you know, any professional navigation, just reach out to us. Or if you want to get experience doing something, you know, GHEP, we're always looking for volunteers who can do work for us. And I know that we have some partnership going on here between GHEP and Jocelyn that we're going to roll up to you guys in the next few months. And so I'm looking forward to that, not only talking, but also walking the talk, right? When I talk about networking, I'm networking with Jocelyn to expand the reach and impact of our programs. All right. Thank you so much, Brown. And now we are, so may I invite everybody to come on camera? You know, I'm always doing this so that we can get really beautiful looking faces for our graduation. You can see me in tie today, right? Really. So if you guys can come on camera, Brown, you can take shots. And I know, Jocelyn, you also want to take shots. Any other person who wants to take shots, So we're going to take one that is going to be professional. Then we're going to take another one that is going to be the silly one. We're going to give another one the thumbs up, and then we can try to get them on. So Brian, tell us where you've taken. So we can take another one that is thumbs up, which is our graduation for our graduates.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So now we're going to go to the meat of the day, which is to hear about these wonderful programs. I told you guys, right? I intentionally did not read the slides. I love the surprise. I want to be surprised by these final interventions. If I read the slides, then it's going to pollute my mind. I will start processing the feedback. But if I hear them just like anybody who is listening to them or watching them on YouTube, I am going to be really fired up. So who wants to go first? Group one, the forum is yours. Brian, give everybody opportunity to share.
Yeah, you guys have an opportunity. Go ahead.
Okay, I will go ahead and share my screen. Hello, everyone. My name is Marilyn Barillo. I'm the project director for the Lung Cancer Awareness Digital Education Program that we are proposing. And my fantastic three teammates are Dr. Etta Johnson, Mr. Bernard Gogo, and Ms. Beverly Kiguna. Global Health and Education Project's Lung Cancer Awareness Digital Education Program proposed to help people most at risk of lung cancer to access interactive distance learning to promote lung cancer awareness and provide education on intervention strategies such as screening and smoke cessation to reduce lung cancer deaths and incidence rates among African American adults age 18 years and older in Prince George's County, Maryland. And actually, we hope that one day this project would be expanded to reach a global audience with particular attention to residents in developing countries who experience a high risk of lung cancer and many health disparities. This lung cancer awareness digital education program is proposed to be a 12-month hybrid in-person and digital online program. Prospective participants would meet in person once every month for 1 hour to receive cancer education in person. Also, participants would participate in a digital online education program that will provide weekly instruction modules and enable multi-module online cancer education program at their own pace. And as you high health Americans, and Prince George's County, the population is African American.
Brian, am I the only one having problem hearing Marilyn? He's coming in and out.
Yes, I think you're breaking up, Marilyn.
And next slide. What is cancer? This is an illustration of a microscopic view of a lung infected with cancer. Continuing on describing lung cancer cells go out of control, become lung cancer. It spread to the lymph nodes and other body parts. Now, the main cause of lung cancer is smoking cigarettes. There are other causes of lung cancer: exposure to asbestos or radon, And there are two types of lung cancer. There's small cell lung cancer and non-small cell lung cancer. The most common type of lung cancer is non-small cell lung cancer. Now, what are some of the symptoms of lung cancer? If an individual has lung cancer, they will likely experience fatigue, tiredness, not having an appetite, a cough, a pain in their body, and blood in sputum. The effects of lung cancer: anxiety, stress, profound distress, severe depression, grief, and demoralization, and not being able to do normal physical functions, and inability to do your regular daily activities, as well as emotional and financial stress for family members. And then there's also the impact on the country's economy because individuals are suffering from lung cancer, and some people may not be able to go to work anymore, receive an income. So there's an adverse impact on the economy as well. Now, the most deadly type of cancer is lung cancer. And lung and bronchus cancer, there are 236,740 estimated new cases of lung and bronchus cancer for 2022. And that is 12.3% of all new cancer cases. So the lung cancer, 12.3% of all cancer cases new expected for 2022. That comes out to an unfortunate 130,180 estimated deaths from lung cancer in 2022. Lives lost. That's 21.4% of all cancer deaths. And unfortunately, 6% of the population is projected to be diagnosed with lung cancer this year. The prevalence of lung cancer is 576,924. And these statistics are from American Lung Association and National Cancer Institute. Continuing on, lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death. So this is one of the reasons why we chose lung cancer for this project. Lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death among all cancers. Lung cancer accounted for 22.6% of all cancer deaths in 2018. Here in Maryland now, lung and bronchus cancer in 2018. And then, according to the Maryland Department of Health, in the state of Maryland, there were 2,468 deaths from lung cancer in 2021. The age-adjusted mortality rate for lung cancer in Maryland was 3.4% per 100,000. The number of new cases of lung cancer was 3,807, and the age-adjusted incidence rate, again in 2021, was 5.6% per 100,000 in the state of Maryland for lung cancer. Now we're going to specifically go to Prince George's County in Maryland. So these statistics relate to lung cancer in Prince George's County, Maryland. Lung and bronchus cancer, new cases. This is according to Maryland Department of Health in the year 2021. New cases, 352. Of those cases, 237 were African Americans and 102 were white Americans. You can see from this number right here, again, the huge impact on the African American community in Prince George's County. Mortality numbers, 277 Of those, 185 African Americans. Those are deaths, 277 deaths. 185 African Americans and 81 white Americans. The age-adjusted incidence rate in Prince George's County for lung cancer is 35.7% per 100,000. 35.2% are African Americans. 40.1% are white Americans. And the age-adjusted mortality rate, those who died from lung cancer, unfortunately, is 28.6% per 100,000, and 27.5% of those who died from lung cancer were African Americans, compared to 38.1%, which were white Americans. And now we come to our next presenter, which is Ms. Beverly Kiguna. Beverly.
Sorry, that's Etha Johnson. Etha, you are muted, please.
I'm so sorry that that's our next presenter is Dr. Etta Johnson. Thank you, Beverly.
Sorry. My name, good afternoon, good morning, everybody, wherever you are. My name is Etta Johnson. In the next slides, I'll present to you the risk factors. I'll present to you the risk factors, the problem, the objectives, and the goal of the program. According to the Lung Cancer Research Foundation, smoking is the highest risk factor for lung cancer. And according to research, about 80% of lung cancer cases come from smoking, and about 20% come from those who've never smoked before. Smoking is also the highest risk factor among African Americans. Research shows that about 19.4% of African American adults used tobacco products in 2020, and about 8.2% of African American youth used tobacco products in 2021. So although research shows that African Americans smoke less frequently and don't start smoking until later in their adulthood, they are more likely to die from smoking-related diseases such as lung cancer compared to white Americans. Next slide. I can't control the slide, Maryland. Can you control the slide? The other risk factor is unfair, unjust, and harmful conditions, which are driven by health disparities experienced by the African American community. These harmful conditions include sale of commercial tobacco to African Americans. Also includes influence from tobacco companies and in form of donations to predominantly Black colleges and universities, and donations to influential Black leaders and organizations. And the other risk factor is the systematic discrimination that's being experienced by the African American community, and the mistrust of healthcare and medical research by the African American community. Next slide. The other risk factor, according to research, are the treatment disparities research shows that Black Americans or African Americans with lung cancer were 15% less likely to be diagnosed early, 19% less likely to receive surgical treatment, 10% more likely to not receive any treatment at all, and 12% less likely to survive 5 years compared to white Americans. Next slide. So what is the problem? So as reflected in the data, lung cancer is the deadliest cancer killer in the US. This is the same for Maryland. And PG County is one of the counties in Maryland with a large African-American community. So one of the goals of the Health People 2023 is to eliminate health disparities and promote health equity for all. However, research shows that certain minorities, such as the African-American community, still experience higher rates of health and disease disparities regarding such diseases as lung cancer. So as the data shows, these disparities can be harmful to minorities, including the African-American community. So there is a need to have an education program, public health education program that targets minorities, such as the African-American community, so as to reduce the mortality and the incidence rates. So why are we targeting African-Americans? As we've seen in the data, according to PG County, African-Americans are the largest minority in Prince George's County, which is also Prince George's County, PG County. African-Americans are the largest minority community at about 62.01%. So although progress has been made against lung cancer in Prince George's County, the statistics that we've just seen show that health disparities still exist even in PG County. So for instance, the minority number for lung cancer for African-Americans was 185 compared in 2018 compared to white Americans at 81. So we need to take strong measures to ensure that there is health equity and a decline and a health equity so that we can show a decline in the death rates that are brought about by lung cancer, especially in the minorities such as African Americans. So this program will promote the lung cancer, the lung cancer awareness program will provide education to African Americans in the hope that this education will be able to reduce the death rates and the incident rates. Next slide. So what are the objectives? We have 3 objectives. The first one is promoting awareness about lung cancer, risk factors, the causes and the symptoms, to reduce perceived barriers such as fear, the stigma for lung cancer, the fear of cost, and the challenges that just come about in accessing care for lung cancer. The other objective is to increase the proportion of adult African Americans aged 18 years and older in Prince George's County, Maryland, who get screened for lung cancer. And the other one is to promote knowledge about smoke cessation intervention programs so as to reduce the risk of lung cancer among the African American community. Next slide. And what are the goals? The goals are also threefold: to reduce the lung cancer mortality and incident rates. And we hope to do this by promoting lung cancer education among the African American community, by highlighting the risks, the prevention and management options for lung cancer. We also hope to reduce lung cancer mortality incident rates by promoting screening so that we can, African Americans, the lung cancer can be prevented among African Americans. And the other one is to reduce lung cancer death rates, incident rates by promoting smoke cessation. The next slides will be presented by my team, member Beverly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Etta. Hello, everyone. My name is Beverly. I will be taking the next 3 sessions, which will be the methodology, staffing, and budget. So basically, Etta has established the fact that our target audience will be African Americans aged 18 years and older who reside in Prince George's County. We are going to be employing the evidence-based method, and we followed the steps as prescribed by the Center for Disease Control. So we got our steps from Center for Disease Control. Basically, we are going to be focusing on adults, African Americans aged 18 years and older. We're going to employ an intervention strategy in the sense that we are going to be, before we start, we are going to be assessing the understanding of participants before our intervention. And in the course of our intervention, when we start to educate, at some point we'll also assess the knowledge gained. We're going to be doing this in a space of 12 months. And at intervals, we will compare those who we are actively educating, the knowledge gained by those we are actively educating with those who did not join us. So we are going to use that as, we're going to be comparing those data to know how effective our program will be. Our outcome, we are expecting that at the end of this program would have increased knowledge of cancer, lung cancer causes, lifestyle changes, and education in general by 50% among those who complete the courses in our program. Like I said, this is going to take a timeline of about 12 months. Next slide, please. So for our research design, first of all, we try to work around the question, can education on lung cancer and intervention strategies help reduce lung cancer incidents and deaths among African Americans aged 18 years and older? So this is the question guiding our research and our methodology. We're going to be employing the quantitative research design to answer our question, our research study question. Like I said before, we'll be assessing their baseline knowledge. We'll have record of the baseline knowledge of cancer details, and then we'll work on the baseline of our participants and try to build their knowledge. We'll also have statistical analysis put in place to measure our success and our progress. Recruitment of participants. So we are depending on assistance from partners to recruit participants. We're also going to be going to churches, advertising in churches, health departments, and community-based organizations. So we hope to get active participants from these areas, these places. Now, the demography of participants, like I said, we are targeting 50% of African Americans. We are looking at about 89,189 people to educate about lung cancer. Now, we have envisaged that in order for us to meet our target in the space of 1 month, we would have to employ the active and the passive recruitment. And that's why we put the digital factor into our program. So under the active recruitment, we are going to be going to churches, health department, community-based organizations. But we're also going to have a passive kind of recruitment. And that will mean going fully into digital promotions. We are going to employ as many digital strategies as we have. So we are going to be putting our programs both on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat. We're going to have jingles, radio and television jingles. We are going to go to Twitter and LinkedIn, and we are going to be targeting Prince George's, the people who live in Prince George's County. Now, why did we decide to do this? Because we believe that more people who will be interested in knowing about this program will be people who are more advanced. However, for us to get the younger population, the 18 years to about 35, 40 years old, we need to give them what they like. And today, social media is the in thing. So we target that while we do our active recruitment, we'll also have a passive recruitment, which we are expecting to get more turnout from. So by passive recruitment, they will not know that they are learning something, but we'll be monitoring those who, click on our social media ads, like it. So we'll monitor progress in different ways. Now, participants' involvement. We are expecting that participants will attend not just online sessions, but will have in-person sessions at some point. So while we have online sessions with our active recruited participants, we'll also have in-person sessions within the 12 months. Now, in order for us to achieve this goal, we are strongly going to need collaboration and partnership. We're also going to need grants, sponsorship, and we as the staff will be hands-on on this project, and will also employ the help of volunteers. The next slide, please. The next slide, please. Okay, so based on our research, we tried to look at theoretical frameworks. When we were deciding on which theoretical framework to employ, we looked at the health belief model, and we also looked at the diffusion of innovation theory. Now, for the health belief model, it's a theoretical model. It's used to guide health promotion and disease prevention programs. It is also used to explain and predict individual changes in health behaviors. When we looked at the diffusion and invention theory, we discovered that theory explains the circumstances under which people choose to change their behaviors and attitude. We felt that for this program, because it's a preventive program, we don't want people to decide to change their attitude when they have come up with cancer, lung cancer, or when they become at risk of lung cancer. We preferred to do a promotional education. We prefer to use a framework, the health belief framework, because we believe that one would guide us more towards achieving the health promotion goal and disease prevention. So we employed the health belief model because of all these factors. It will also help, to create education, knowledge. It's a better theoretical framework for us we can use to achieve our goals. The next slide, please. Now I'll move to staffing. For this program, we have a program director who ensures the effective execution of the project, will be involved with most of the consultations with community, the director will be involved in coordination and planning, as well as organizing events. So totally, the director would oversee all the departments in the course of the project. We also have a communication and outreach director who would ensure the appropriate dissemination of information So the communication director will be our spokesperson, especially at the community level. The communications director will ensure that documentation of activities are properly done and will report to the director. We also have the director of operations and partnership. The director of operations and partnership will oversee the day-to-day activities of the project and would be our spokesperson with the agency, with the fundraising agencies and stakeholders. The director of operations will also report to the program director. We also have the data monitoring and evaluation director. The director of data and monitoring will ensure the credibility of all information retrieved. So I want to tell you guys at this point that a lot of security put in place for our data would have credible data and will store this data accurately. And this will be done by the data monitoring and evaluation director. This same position will carry a lot of evaluation. So the director for data and monitoring will also feed us with our progress and also our lapses, so we can correct our lapses. Peradventure, we are not meeting up to targets that we have set for ourselves. And the director of data and monitoring will report to the program director. We're going to be having a focal person. This focal person would come directly from the community. The focal person will be a well-known person in the community. And the reason why we need this person to be among our team is because we believe we cannot go into a community without getting acknowledged or without getting support of the community leaders. So the focal person will assist the director in the general planning, organization of events with focus on, getting acceptance from the community. The next slide, please. We're going to need a lot of volunteers for this project. We envisage having one assistant focal person, which will also come from the community, which will also come from the community. When I mean coming from the community, I mean indigents of the community. And this assistant focal person would assist the coordinator in the same planning and organization from the grassroots. Would have a communications and media aid, one volunteer, who will assist the communication director with information dissemination, grassroots communication, and media events and coverage. We'll have 2 volunteers for operations and partnership, because we would need to, these volunteers would assist in operations, day-to-day management of the program. We would have 1 volunteer for data monitoring and evaluation, who will work closely with the director of monitoring, data and evaluation. We'll have a welfare officer who ensures that participants, whenever we meet, are safe and they are also timely in their incentives. They get their incentives, on time. So the welfare officer will take care of making sure that our participants are well taken care of whenever we meet with them. We're going to have 20 volunteers for logistics aid. We envisage that we will need a lot of manpower on ground. And so we'll be looking for a lot of volunteers to help us assist with transportation of materials, equipment for the events arrangements, and to assist guests who will be around. Peradventure, we miss out any part of the program we have not been able to think about. We said we're going to have 7 volunteers on standby just in case we are overwhelmed with, with the outcome and we need more hands. We'll have 7 people we can lean on to do various aspects of the job. The next slide, please. We are going to be depending on sponsors, like I said, and partners. We are looking at involving the US government, faith-based organizations, NGOs, the Maryland American Cancer Society, as well as the Maryland State American Lung Cancer Society. We're going to be, meeting these people to partner with us and to sponsor us in fundraising and also to ensure transparency. The next slide, please. The next slide. So I'm going to be talking about the budget. We have estimated about $99,987 for this project. Can we move to the next slide, please? This is a breakdown of what we expect to spend. From this table, we are going to be putting more funds into community residents, activities, and advertising. Like I said, we are going to be doing more of, publicizing this information and sending out a lot of educative materials and information through social media. And so we are going to be doing a lot of community resident, we're going to be involving the community actively and passively. And so we need, that's why we put the highest amount of money into community residents, activity, and advertising. So on the whole, we are envisaging that we would have a direct cost of $60,000, a little above $60,000, and an indirect cost of about $39,977. Now we are also envisaging that we'll have partners to give us some donations. So we don't need to source for everything because we have partners who would also help us raise some funds. At this point, I will hand over to my next colleague to take over. Gogo, can you take over, please?
Thank you, Beverly. I'll be taking you through the evaluation, dissemination, and finally the conclusion. For the evaluation, I will discuss with you on how this program can be evaluated, while the dissemination, I will discuss with you on what needs to be done before, during, and after the program. And for the conclusion, I will just highlight what we have discussed. So now the evaluation process, to effectively evaluate this program, we will develop a formative evaluation system where we will assess participant understanding of cancer education, and also regular participant satisfaction survey will be conducted. In addition, we will be receptive to collecting input from communities or concerned parties during the event. We will also measure our program success by observing how the activities are planned and run, and how receptive the community residents are to attending these program sessions. Next slide. For the dissemination process, next slide. Next slide. Now, for the dissemination process, before the program, we will do a few things, which include: one, to identify our target populations, to identify our specific population and share our program. This could be through hospitals, organizations, social groups, and schools. And we'll also tailor this program to meet our target population. We'll also align our program objectives, provide adequate training and resource to site staff, and also adequate preparation of logistics, funding, and support. More so, we will locate our partners and introduce this program to them. And we will also locate and approach decision makers and introduce the program to them. We'll also announce the information on the organization website and advertise our programs on different local media houses and newspapers. Next slide. During the program, we will deliver and evaluate each target population to make sure that deliveries are accurate. More so, we will adjust and evaluate areas that are not really meeting up the target, and we will have our adequate preparation of logistics and funding on ground. We'll make sure that communications, successes, and struggles are well handled through regular meetings with staff members. We'll have monthly discussions of program activities in our local media, which include radio, televisions, newspapers, and furthermore, we'll present positive results to local community groups and stakeholders. Next slide. Now, after the program, a few things will need to be done after the program. One is to release the comic, summarize results, publish briefs, and also present outcomes at national and professional conferences. More so, we would like to provide comprehensive feedback on general program outcome. Next slide. Now, the conclusion. Well, this program is basically to promote lung cancer awareness and provide education on intervention by reducing lung cancer deaths, incident rates among the African American adult of 18 years and above in Maryland, precisely Prince George's County. We hope to promote the awareness about the risk factors, causes, symptoms, in order to reduce the perceived barriers. We will also increase the proportion of African Americans aged 18 years and above in Prince George's County who get screened for lung cancer to reduce the mortality in late-stage lung cancer. We promote knowledge about smoke cessation intervention programs to reduce the lung cancer. The duration of this program is 1 year, that's equivalent to 12 months. It's hybrid and digital. Participants will also meet in person monthly for an hour to receive cancer education. And finally, participants will also participate in a digital online cancer education program that will provide weekly instructions, modules, and enable participants to complete a 20-module online cancer education program at their own pace. Next slide. Well, these are some of the articles where we retrieve our data and we present it to you. Next slide. Next slide. Thank you for your time and attention. We look forward to receiving your comments, questions, and other feedbacks. Dr. Zunin, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is really, really great. Guys, I saw a number of people join us while the presentation was going on. Please unmute your Zoom and join me and give a round of applause to Group 1 for their presentation. This is really good. So I have a lot of questions. Of course, you know I'm always going to ask questions. And I'm going to fire those questions because I need to up the energy. I need to up the energy a little bit. I need a little bit more of energy. Remember, we talk about when you are presenting, we need energy. You need to present, you need to project, you need to have mastery of the subject, you need to educate, and you need to be compelling. So I'm going to ask questions. So I have my book, I have my paper full of questions here. So what is the name of the program? You put an acronym there, but I never heard you people talk about the acronym. What is the name of the program?
It's Lung Cancer Awareness through Digital Education.
But the acronym is LUCAD. What is it? So you are supposed, so essentially, when you present the name of the program at first, then subsequently, you're just going to use the acronym for the program. We don't need to hear about all these things. So the point here should be, this is a lung cancer awareness through digital education program. LUCAD, LUCADE, whatever that thing is, you are supposed to plan that in our heads in that first slide so that anybody in this forum should always be thinking about LUCAD, 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 right? Because that's the branding. That's your branding and marketing. You want people to always remember, oh, there's a program. You know, I'm going to the LUCAD program. I'm going to the FTAB program. I'm going to PA 360 program. That is, branding has to be repeated, has to be repeatable, has to be memorizable, has to be short. So I never heard any of you talk about what the branding of the project is. So do you guys want to talk about what is the acronym? Bernard.
Yes, it's Lung Cancer Awareness and Digital Education Program, LUCAD.
So we agree the program's name is LUCAD, right? And we have done 20 minutes of presentation and you never told us the name of the program, the acronym of the program, LUCAD. So we're talking about LUCAD, right? You have to be compelling. And then I had a question. So what are the 3 key goals of the program? So if somebody met you on the street and they ask, these are really taxpayers, they don't want their money to be given to organizations just to do things they like. What are the 3 goals? 3 things you can explain to a 4th grader that this program is going to do. 3 simple. I don't want long sentence. I don't want citation from a peer-reviewed article. What are the 3 things that this program seek to do?
I would say the first thing that the program would seek to do is to reduce the number of people that get lung cancer.
That's one.
Reduce the number of people that die from lung cancer.
Number 2.
And we also want to increase the lung cancer awareness and education among the community.
So reduce the number of people who have lung cancer, that's morbidity. Reduce the number of people who die from lung cancer, that's mortality. And increase awareness of lung cancer
risks and
risk and what? What is in that risk? Risk is a bucket. What is in that risk?
behaviors.
What is it that you are seeking
I'd
to
include,
Behaviors.
Hi,
Go ahead, Eda.
okay, increase lung cancer education. That would include the risks. That would include the stigma that goes with the lung cancer. That would recruit some people don't want to do are not open to lung cancer awareness because they are scared of costs. So that will include the costs.
What is the risk? There is something in that risk.
The
Yes,
risk.
There
The
is
smoking.
something
Smoking.
There you go. There is the key risk that you need to be talking about here should be see, every other thing you are doing is actually based on the major risk, which is we know that smoking is the leading cause of lung cancer. So your number 1 goal should be smoking cessation program. You should be really educating people so that people should stop smoking and people should not start smoking. So you see, that's why I don't like big words. That's one thing that education does, is that it makes you use big words. But what is it really? You're talking to a 4th grader that we are creating a program called Lucid. What are the top 3 things that I need to know about Lucid? So Lucid is going to reduce smoking, people starting smoking. You're gonna stop people, prevention, right? You're gonna stop people from smoking in the first place. Sorry, you want to prevent people from starting smoking. You want to help people who are smoking to stop smoking, smoking cessation. And then these are the concrete things that you can do. And you are hoping that if these work, that you are going to be impacting the number of people who get lung cancer and the number of people who die from lung cancer. Because you are unable to measure death, you're unable to measure incidence within 1 year. So you need to actually have concrete intervention that you are going to execute and measure so that you can say primarily within 1 year that we were able to identify 200 people who were getting ready to start smoking, but we stopped 70% of them from beginning to smoke. And we identified 100 people who were smoking, and we were able to stop 60% of them from smoking. So those are really interim short-term goals and outcomes you can report that is going to give us an indication that hopefully that we are going to see people reduce the mortality. But you're not going to be around. We're not going to fund you forever to be able to track mortality and morbidity. So always, what is the basic thing? And the basic thing is not at a high level, it's really very basic. Always remember, you are explaining to a 4th grader. But this is a Great program. Does anybody have questions, comments before we move to the second group?
Yes, I
Dr.
think.
Remy. Okay, Chidi, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Thank you guys for that wonderful presentation. And I have like 2 questions, but I think I'll reduce it to 1 so that because of time. So I want to really know how you guys intend to attend to attrition during recruitment and engagement of the participants. So when I mean attrition, I mean the number of participants you budgeted. Since it's a 12 months program, how are you going to attend or engage them effectively to stay in the program, since you are considering African Americans, which means they are most of them might be from the low income family, which means that most of them would even work even through the weekend so that they can fend for the family. So how do you intend to get them engaged and not drop out of the program during the 12 months training?
One of the, go on, Ben. Go on. I'll just mention one. I'll mention one, then you take over. One of the things I think can be more engaging is the faith-based organizations, because with the African American communities, church is their home. They spend a lot of time in the church. So if we, like Beverly, my colleague said, we have faith-based organizations, those are the people that we are going to engage with. So if we engage the pastors and the people in the church, I know for sure African Americans, they love church. We'll be able to engage them continuously if we engage the church. To you, Beverly.
Okay.
Okay, to add to what Etta said, now the program is going to run for 1 year, but the participants will not be engaged for 1 year. So we are looking at strategizing. I think Prince George's County has about 6 communities. So we are looking at dividing 1 year into 6 and strategically, targeting them. So it's a program that is 1 year, but it's going to be composed of smaller programs in that 1 year. So we are not going to engage everybody because we understand that we can't afford to engage them for 1 year. They will lose concentration. So we are going to engage them in bits. And that's how we expect to achieve the number in a year.
Okay, so that's 2 months. So how do you propose engaging a particular community for 2 months?
Now, first of all, our numbers are huge. The numbers we are working on are huge. So let's say we go into one community A, and we have established, we have a memorandum of operation. We are going to now ask for we're going to ask them to pick their convenient, they're going to have to pick their convenient meeting days or times within that 2 months. So in 2 months, we are going to give them that leeway to pick, when they are comfortable with attending our program and attending our sessions. So it's going to be dependent on their availability, not necessarily on how much time. We are just going to be with each community for a space of 2 months and let them monitor their work with their time.
Okay, good. I like that response, because one of the mistakes public health programs make is they impose their time and activities on community members, not trying to get their own time. And I like the fact that you guys intend getting their own time and how.
And it's a digital program, so they can tune in whenever it's convenient to them. They don't have to go to, I think we mentioned somewhere in the program that those who want to go on site for the training can go to the on site. Those who want to go do it online, virtually, they can do it online. So they do it at their own convenience, like we are doing these days. So it will be very convenient for those who want to do the program.
I'm gonna keep it moving. I have a question from Rita. Rita, do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Yes, I am happy to be here. I've listened to the great project that this group developed, and I just have few questions for them. Because of want of time, I have like 6 questions, but I will reduce it to 4. So, you know, as a public health researcher, when they talked about research, that drew my interest. So for the description of the methodology, I think the research design that is suitable for this intervention is quasi-experimental design and not just quantitative design. Then they made mention of doing a statistical and regression analysis. I think is so broad. They need to mention specifically the type of analysis they are going to use. Then I want to ask, what ethical considerations are they going to put in place as they are going to carry out this intervention? Then I'm also interested to know the selection criteria, and finally, how they will reduce selection biases that may arise during their recruitment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rita. Good questions. Quasi-experimental study design. And I added something for you guys. Because you're doing smoking cessation, you should consider the use of the trans theoretical model. That's actually used more for smoking cessation because people who smoke are in different stages, right? Pre-contemplation, contemplation, action, and so and then Rita made a good point, quasi-experimental study. But then I'm going to leave you guys, make your responses really precise. What are the ethical considerations that you are going to, and then what is going to be your selection criteria?
Oh, thank you very much for the question. To begin with, this is a project that is being proposed, and there has not yet been an institutional review board selected to receive the human subjects research participation analysis and investigation. So a lot of your questions will be answered once we have those next steps at the direction of Global Health and Education Projects would be the one to select which institutional review board will be conducting the protection for human research subjects. So it will be following the regularly professionally accepted human research protection standards. And the participants, it was African Americans, someone who identifies as an African American that is at least 18 years and older. And then what was the next question?
Those who reside in Prince George's County.
Oh, in Prince George's County. Thank you, Maryland. And was there another question?
Analysis. What analysis?
Yeah.
The analysis. Well, for the statistical analysis, it is possible that we could analyze the mode, median, mean, and conduct statistical tests like ANOVA, t-tests, and correlational analysis. It depends on how the surveys are created. I would like to see a Likert style survey, but however, that information again would be presented in the institutional research board proposal. So those are next steps. This is actually the very first step. We began this program about 3 months ago. And so we're presenting it here to Global Health and Education Projects and hoping that it will go for the next steps. A program like this cannot begin without going through, my understanding is, institutional review board to make sure that human research participants are protected.
Very good. Okay, so thank you so much, Group 1. This is really phenomenal. We want to switch over to Group 2 now because I'm really itching to hear about what they're going to do. Brown, please grant them access, and Group 2, the floor is yours.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, it's been very exciting to hear, from what our colleagues have shared, and we're happy to be here to be able to share a little bit about our program. So, in purpose of this program, we are Pearl Global Health Initiative, and our program is the Mental Health Education Program, and in acronym form, it's MHEP. And we are focused in Prince George's County, Maryland. So my name is Jocelyn Rodriguez, and I am the program director of this program today. And I will definitely allow a moment just for my colleagues to be able to introduce themselves shortly. Whoever would like to introduce themselves, feel free. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much, Jocelyn. My name is Majid Bolaji Adisa. I'm the Director of Partnership for MHEP, for short MEP, as we are about to present our project today. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Simon Boache. In this program, I am the Director of Data Monitoring Evaluation. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Iko Akwe Vivian. For this program, I am the Clinical Director for the Pearl Global Health Initiative. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. I will be taking on the introduction for the project that we are presenting today. Once again, my name is Bolaji Adisa. So I'll be taking the executive summary. As you have all seen, we tagged our project title as Mental Health Education Program, for short, MEP, to make it easier for our participants and also audience to understand what we want to talk about. So the executive summary, in essence, I would like to start by saying WHO definition of health. It's not only involved mental health, it's state of physical, complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not the absence of infirmary. But as we have all seen over time, this is something that has not really, taken the shape in terms of the full definition when it talk about these three areas. Mental health is such an area that has been neglected for so long, such that the progress there is painfully slow. Even though it's now gaining recognition from the Sustainable Development Programs that we started 7 years ago, and with the target to be achieved by 2030, it's important to say that now there has been attribution to mental health by virtue of targets that are assigned to it, so that the progress can also be measured globally and not just at the local and regional level. So for the executive summary, I'll be talking about this mental health as we plan to focus on it as part of our own agreement to apply for the grant. So mental health is a key area, emerging and also involving realities now that is aligning with increasing global recognition. However, we have diverse political, social, and economic response to addressing these determinants that are actually influencing the incidence and the prevalence of mental health and the impact as well at local, regional, and global level. As we all know, even though there has been a multidisciplinary approach at different levels over time to address the burden, but the point still remains that it is still not being addressed as it should be. It's now increasingly becoming, a phenomenon that cannot be ignored at any point in time. And it's something that has to be repeated several times to the ears of those that are not even aware, to know that there is a broad conceptualization of mental health and then the disorders as it's envisioned in the Sustainable Development Goals. So when you look at this, you now realize that we cannot just look away from that. It's so important that for us to be able to address this, we need to look at the prevention, health promotion, and treatment of the mental disorders. But the impact is low. So how can we do that on our own end? That's a saying that charity begins at home. So that is why our organization, which we call Pearl Global Health Initiative, plans to introduce this mental health education program, just like I mentioned earlier, for short, MEP, in Prince George County, as part of the response to the need to address the mental health gap, particularly among the racial and ethnic minorities in Prince George County. I know the question might come, why Prince George County? I will answer that briefly. So since we introduced this as our own plan, it aims to provide mental health workshops, health education resources to at least 700 participants who will be selected from different groups within the communities that are in Prince George County, which will focus on awareness, improving mental health conditions among members, particularly those with racial and ethnic minorities. It's important to say at this point that Prince George County is just one out of the several counties in Maryland, about 26 of them. And it's also one of the top 3 in terms of those counties that have the most racially diverse population. So this is the reason why we have to pick this in our own way of saying we want to give back by providing intervention through the grants that we are applying for. Next slide. Yes, problem statement. I think it's important to say this, and also to talk about briefly while saying this about the methodology that we intend to use to access at least 700 residents in this county. But the problem statement, we all know, particularly globally, mental health is now increasingly being recognized. But in the state of Maryland, there exists, variation of the constitutional pattern of distribution of minority population growth. Of course, beyond just Prince George County, but it's something that is widespread in Maryland. According to the American Psychiatric Association, we have approximately 18% of US adults who have a diagnosable mental disorder in a given year. This is also to note that there is still a good number in percentages that are often not diagnosed because of a number of reasons, which includes and not limited to lack of access and even lack of awareness. And that is where we intend to target. The disparities often go undiagnosed, especially in the low socioeconomic communities, and that are often made up of the minorities. A number of reasons can be attributed to this. One of them, which is somehow prominent, insurance coverage. Even when you are aware, there has to be something that will help you. Even when you take a decision, health-seeking attitude, behavior towards accessing care when you have recognized one. Also, the integration within the society in terms of the social system is also not a strong one for most of these racially diverse communities in Prince George County. So it's important to also say it here that the impact, it goes beyond the way we think and relax or behave. It also affects us at local, state, national, and global level. Starting from even the household, you cannot deny the fact that it's a burden. So disorders, they cause loss of productivity, which can range from depression, anxiety, and beyond, costing global economy about $1 trillion each year. It's something that cannot be, it's huge. This is really of economic impact, and it cannot be, overemphasized. So in 2010, for example, the direct and indirect economic costs of mental disorders were estimated to be 2.5, in US dollars, according to the World Health Organizations. So according to this same World Health Organization, these costs are projected to rise, which calls for immediate action if nothing is done to address this. Next slide. So it's also important to show that 10% of these people in Prince George County only have insurance coverage. This is a huge gap. Now, of course, this is just one out of the many risk factors that we may want to talk about here when it comes to, mental health. Other things that I may want to just mention briefly before talking about the goals includes even the age or the gender, the perception towards which gender access, mental health when one is recognized. The income of the household or even the individual is also a key. The sexual orientation, these are things that cannot be, overlooked in any way. So looking at the goals and objectives, it will be important to say it here that our goal primarily is essentially to ensure we improve mental health conditions among community members, especially the minorities. How do we intend to cascade that down? And by looking at the objectives, providing minimum of 6 mental health workshop, session to increase knowledge of mental health in minority communities, providing mental health education workshops and mental health resource fairs to a minimum of 700 residents of Prince George. The question is, how do we intend to select the 700, which will also be talked about briefly. And also to be able to connect at least 30% of our workshops. You know, it's just like saying leading from one area to another and ensuring the completion of the cycle to be sure that, yes, even though despite the fact that people are aware, they are also connected, you know, to referral centers where they can access services. And they also have access to a lot of educational materials, you know, that can help them in making decisions as soon as possible. So that is it for the objectives. Connecting 30% of them, we intend to do that for at least 30% of our workshops and resource fair attendees to mental health professionals, a program, and the healthcare provider. At the back of this, we need to also mention the fact that this is a one-year project which we intend to implement, but we need to also look at the fact that beyond this 1 year, something has to continue in the event that, you know, there is the funding stops, which is the sustainability. We will still talk more about this as we move on to our next slide. On this note, I would like to hand over to Jocelyn for the program overview and description. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So as you see, it's really important to address the mental health disparities that are being seen in Prince George's County, especially amongst the racial and ethnic minorities. So that being said, you know, overview of what we are looking to do is provide a mental health education and awareness program to these underserved communities in Prince George's County to be able to improve their mental health outcomes through community health education and mental health awareness, as well as accessibility to mental health resources and resources that do help with their mental health in terms of the social determinants of health, right? We all know that, I'm sure we've all been in a situation at one point of our life that we've had, you know, some type of financial constraint, you know, and that has caused some type of effect in the way we behave, the way we feel, and the way we think. So addressing also the social determinants of health through the resource fairs, we're able to also do further promotion of their mental health in a different aspect by alleviating those external stressors that they have. So with this program, it is a year-long program that we are hoping to provide a culturally competent set of workshops on-site and virtually in Prince George's County to the residents. So that way we're able to, one, it is free. So it's there's no financial barrier. We also hope to provide virtual sessions, so that way for those who have the limitation in transportation, they do have access to a form of accessibility to these type of workshops. The workshops will also be facilitated by community health workers, public health professionals, and behavioral change communication experts in English and Spanish. We look to continue working with vast majority of community health workers, since they are themselves involved in the community, are part of the community, and are able to more so share experience and further promote mental health amongst the community, because we all know that representation does matter. So having these set of team members would be able to address various communities and being able to provide it in the two major speaking languages in Prince George's County. It allows for diversity within the group. So we also, as stated, you know, we do hope to provide at least 6 mental health workshops and throughout that time span. And we're hoping that with each workshop, we're able to partner with different organizations and entities to promote these workshops. So that way we can get further adherence to the various workshops, where it's more so a series, not in the style of a cohort, but just the encouragement to participate in the various workshops that we have. So again, it is a minimum of 6 community mental health workshops that we're looking to provide, and to also organize 2 community resource fairs, because again, we said that the social determinants of health very much affect the way we, you know, function as a person and our mental health. So by creating these resource fairs, again, we're hoping to very much just address these other external barriers to mental health promotion and self-care and mindfulness these residents are experiencing, and through these community resource fairs, we're hoping to include resources that involve and that address food security and insecurity, as well as housing resources and overall healthcare resources and all of the other resources that we can definitely provide to the community in the sense of the resource fairs. So the promotion of these resources are essentially low cost and pro bono. Many of the nonprofits in Prince George's County are able to provide such service at such fee. And so that would further allow the community to have these opportunities for health equity. And so that being said, that is a summary of what we're looking to do. And our target population, as stated, is those in Prince George's County. In 2021, Prince George's County was home to about 900, almost 100,000 individuals. And since then, we know that overall with the census and the influx of migration, these numbers have varied now in 2022. Since then, I would say we've had an influx in many migrants from Latin America, as well as refugees from Afghanistan and other community members. So, but the majority of the community does identify as Black or African American, not non-Hispanic. And then the next leading minority group is the Hispanic and Latino community. So that being said, those would be our two main focuses in this program. And as we taking a step back, also, I did want to acknowledge that within each of these two big umbrella terms of Black, African American, and Hispanic, Latino, we understand that there are subgroups within each category. And so allowing with the budget that, we are hoping to apply and receive, as well as the goals that we're having as an initial start to addressing mental health, is to also be really culturally competent with the subgroups that are within both categories. So in 2021, I did also want to state that Prince George's County had about 11.2% of residents living without insurance. That is, it might not sound like a lot, but working in the community, you can definitely see how much of a barrier that can be. And it's not just about being not having insurance, but being underinsured. So that is where you still have insurance but have still a financial constraint to different accessibility in healthcare. And so similar to other communities, the social determinants of health affect the daily quality of life of many Prince George's County residents, including their mental health and overall health. And that concludes to say that our target groups are all community members of all ages and cultural backgrounds, with emphasis on the Black and Latino community. And now I will pass this along to Jimilogo.
Okay, hello everyone. Now, for us at PGHI to achieve the goals and objectives of this project, there is need for us to work and be engaged on the provision of educational models, which increases the prevention of mental health deterioration. We are also going to work and be engaged on the provision of mental health screening and counseling, provision of linkage to care, that's to mental health educators, psychologists, and others. We're also going to be providing an expository resources on exercise, games, stress management, and others. Self-management support through home visiting programs using community health workers, therapists, psychologists, and other health personnel will be involved. In working to achieve these goals and objectives, we will also be providing training that also assists in recognizing the signs and symptoms of substance abuse, because substance abuse is one of the problems that leads to mental health deterioration. Provision of adequate instructional, educational, and communication materials, that's the IECs, will help with proper orientation on mental health, including referrals where necessary. The referrals can be the psychologists, counselors, medical professionals, doctors, where necessary. Next slide, please. Okay, so for us at the PGHI, the Pure Global Health Initiatives, while working on the mental health education program, the activities is going to include long year boots on ground activities because it's going to be a 1-year program. We also will be partnering and collaborating with local health departments. There will be partnership and collaboration with community-based organization and faith-based organization, and also the federally qualified health centers. We'll also be conducting workshops that provide community-based health education and mental health. It's upkeep, it's awareness, literacy, and management. During this program, high context marketing will be used in creation of materials in English and Spanish to limit literacy barriers and consult for culturally competent material. The marketing can be via the social media groups, social media channels, so that we can cover high level of population, targeted population. The timeline of our activities will be, our workshops will be conducted every 2 months, that is bi-monthly, both in English and Spanish. Our outreach and promotion will be conducted a minimum of 1 month before the next workshop is scheduled. This outreach is very, very important because to create awareness of the upcoming workshop so that we can target and reach more populations before our workshop. So our reporting, at minimum, we will be having 2 mental health resource fairs, give or take April and October. Then our reports will be given monthly. So these are activities for the year on this program. Thank you. I'll be handing over to Simon. Let him get us engaged on the budget for this program.
Thank you, Chimelogo. Before I present on the budget for our program, I think the slide is there, so it's okay. So before I present the budget, I want to emphasize that you do monitoring and evaluation to keep our program on track, activities on track, and also to see how the objective that we set, how far we were able to achieve it. So I want to also emphasize that as part of the monitoring and evaluation, we will do a process. So at the end of every, us to get to know the understanding or the impact of our program to the participants. And this will inform us to plan ahead in future programs. And I want to also a qualitative approach for us to know the impact of our program. The quantitative approach we use for us to quantify the number of participants, the participants for our program, and also the impact, we will quantify it. But for the qualitative approach, it will help us to get more insight, to get further understanding of our impact of the program to the participants. So for our budget, let me come back to our budget. Our budget is a breakdown of our budget. The personnel, we budgeted for $5,000. Let me emphasize that this personnel, the cost of this cost consists of all the personnel that we will use, including ourselves, and also the community health workers that we use. For this, we budgeted for $15,000. It will help us to recruit education training programs, or the one who will lead us to give us more insight about the program that we are running. And for travel per diem, we budgeted for $5,000. And for equipment, let me emphasize, equipment here means during the workshop, you rent a room for our training. So all this costs, the material that we will print, the projector that we use, all the necessary equipment that we use, the resource fair, the materials, the brochures that we will print during our workshop and also conferences, to help us. This is a budget that we allocate $10,000 to take care of this equipment. And also we had a budget for media and publicity, which includes social media. Let me emphasize that for us to create mental health awareness as part of our program, we will create 3 social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, to help us or back us with the creation of awareness of our mental health program that we will run at the Prince George County Government next year. So for these activities, it includes the pre and post-test documentation of our programs, and also the cost that will cost us for us to create our social media, the uploading of materials, and all kind of things that we use in order to aid us to create awareness about mental health, to increase the knowledge level, and also to improve mental health awareness in Prince George County. And also, as part of our budget, we allocate some kind of miscellaneous amount, which we use 10%. So miscellaneous simply means this is a cost that is not related or directly reflected on what we plan to do. However, it will help us if in case we exceed our budget, the miscellaneous will come in for us to help us to move our program forward. Business-wise. So for opportunities for collaboration, but before then, I want to also emphasize that we will, in terms of dissemination of our program, we will do a weekly newsletter release through both our social media platform and also through churches. So we will engage the community leaders in Prince George County and also other partners to help us. And also we use a conference as a mode of dissemination of our project, our results. So you disseminate our results from the program, or the result that we will get from the participants. We will disseminate it through workshops and also conferences. And also for opportunity for collaboration, it is necessary to know that at the end of the day or at the end of the program, we have some form of expectation that we want to achieve from the program. So our first outcome from this MHEP mental health education program is to, first of all, we aim to provide mental health education to about 700 residents in Prince George County. And also we aim to provide 6 mental health workshops to residents in Prince George County. And also we aim to provide, we connect at least 25%. So those who participate in our resource fair and also in our budget, we aim to connect at least 25% of our participants to mental health professionals and also healthcare professionals. So as you know, for the outcome of our program, policymakers of local government and of the various minority caucus in the Maryland will be invited for collaboration and participation. This will help us to achieve our target and also our aim of the program. And also service providers and local health departments that address the social determinants of health will be invited to collaborate in a referral programs, workshop building, outreaches, and also resource fair and more. And also resource fair will allow for volunteers from the community. We aim to target 3 communities in Prince George County. So resource fair will allow us for volunteers from these communities in the facilitation of the fair, as well as it will give students the SSLRS I say excess less hours, I mean so to students who participate in our program. So next slide, please. So I think this is the end of our presentation, but I want to conclude. I want to conclude that this program is a one-year program that we target Prince George County, and also we aim to provide mental health education to Prince George counties to increase the knowledge of mental health, and also we aim to connect at least 25% of our participants, both in the workshop and also in the resource fair, to mental health providers and also healthcare professionals, including public health professionals. More projects, and for us to move or to go further, there is a need for us. We need logistics and resources. So and also the program opportunities moving forward as we proceed in program implementation. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you. That was really, really excellent. Bolaji, we can only see your head. I know you want us to see your face, but we are only seeing the top of your head, actually. So please unmute and join me again, once again, so that we can give Group 2 a round of applause for a job well done. Very good, very good. This is really, really good. I have one question, and I know folks are going to be interested as well. You know that mental health, issues around mental health is fraught with a lot of stigma and stereotype. So when you are doing a mental health program, especially for minority communities where this stigma is really very high, how will you handle stigma and stereotype?
So I would like to chime in on that. It's a really good question. So one example would definitely be, you know, working with the Latino community or any community really. They have their own terminology and explanations for what we know as mental health, you know, disparities and symptoms and so forth. So it's just getting familiar and having, you know, team members that represent those communities, like community health workers, to be able to be involved and get, you know, their feedback as we develop these programs. Is it culturally competent? You know, is this digestible to the community? And that can include just using the terminology, you know, translated in English, you know, what we would know as an anxiety attack or panic attack in Spanish, translated into English, would be an attack of the nervous system. So in Spanish, that's usually what is referred to, as opposed to just calling it an anxiety attack. So it's using that language as we build this type of program to be able to meet them where they are and just build on their to help them understand that it is, one, very common to have mental health challenges and mental health disorders. And just hearing those testimonies from others who are willing to share that can definitely help bring awareness and destigmatize this type of things that we're seeing in the community. So that's definitely, I would say, a big part of it. I'll definitely open it up to see if, I don't know if anybody else in the group wanted to chime in.
This is actually a big issue within the mental health field, right? Even the name, the branding of the program, even the name of the program, even in Nigeria is a major issue, you know, in low and middle income countries. And Jocelyn is right. Maybe one thing that you can think about in your curriculum, in the presentation, is even your branding. You know, another thing that has been shown to be very effective is actually using physical health to describe mental health rather than doing it the opposite. So you can now make a connection between physical health that is less stigmatized, less stereotyped, and then using that as an opportunity to address, to say, you are having this mental health problem because of this, or you are having this mental health, physical health problem because of this. That way it is more amenable to communities and cultures for which people think that mental health seeking is for crazy people. So that's really, really very important. Rita, I know your hands is up. Can you go ahead?
Okay, so I want to appreciate Group 2 also for the work well done. I have one comment and one question. My question is, during the presentation, they made mention that they are going to conduct some workshops, and the workshops will be facilitated by community health workers. So my question now is, how will they make sure that the workshop will be of quality, since the healthcare workers are not part of the team that developed the project? So that's my first question. Then my comment is, I think it will be necessary when developing this kind of program to also have tentative indicators that will help you in monitoring the progress and achievements during the implementation of the project. Thank you very much.
To answer the question about the community health workers, I think something that we definitely, I think you make a good point. I've definitely discussed the need to always train the team, whoever it is, to be on the same page on, especially if it's a health topic. I think one way definitely to address that and to start to make sure that, let's say, community health workers, if they're the ones facilitating the training, or they're the ones having the education in the community when they're doing outreach, can definitely be seeking the mental health first aid training for adults and youth. That is a certification training. I believe it's with the National Council of Mental Wellbeing, and that is just to receive that professional training and how to educate on mental health and so forth. So that will definitely be part of it, as well as having those who are experts in behavioral health and mental health to be able to guide these type of presentations and facilitate capacity building and workforce development within the teams that we're working with, to make sure that it's a uniform message that we're sending on the different workshops, regardless of the community and regardless of the language that's being used. It's still the same message. So that is definitely a big part of what we're looking to have for the community health workers who are going to be involved in such a crucial role.
So I have the same question I asked Group 1. I think I have them down here. What are the 3 goals of this program that you can explain to a 4th grader? What are the 3 goals of this program? What is this program seeking to do? In not flowery language, not big grammar, not citing any peer-reviewed articles. You have this 4-year-old meets you on the street and says, Balaji, Jocelyn, Simon, Chimalogo, I heard you people are running this MHEP program or MEP program. What are you doing?
I would
Hello.
say, oh,
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. For our goals, is going to be creating awareness. Yes, in order to cover the huge gap that has been left over the years on mental health issues. So creation of awareness and education programs and improvement of health, yes, health outcomes. Then most importantly, to cover up the barriers that has been lost by lost opportunities, which has been a huge impact on mental health, lack of mental health awareness. Over the years or recently, it has been recorded that this loss of opportunities are leading to economic degradation. You understand? Job opportunities, economic devaluation through mental health non-awareness. So that is it.
Yeah, you talked about the big things. I'm actually asking for the kindergarten things. What are the 3 goals of this program? What 3 rudimentary things does this program seek to address? Explain it to somebody who is not a public health expert, who doesn't have any training in health, who has not attended Public Health 360, a handyman on the street. Explain what are the 3 things that this program is going to do.
So I think I can take that question. So first off, we seek to increase the knowledge of mental health in Prince George County. And also, secondly, we seek to reduce the stigma by creating awareness about mental health in the state of Prince George County, Maryland. And lastly, our program aims to connect our participants who may participate in both our resource fair programs and workshops to healthcare and also public health professionals. So basically, I think this is what we seek to achieve at the end of the day.
Simone just got one of the 3 goals of this program, only one. Remember, this is not about textbook knowledge. This is not about citations. This is about what are the 3 concrete things that this program is going to do. So Simone told us, 1, that you are going to connect attendees to your workshop to a mental health provider. That is concrete. I can touch it, right? It's not flowery. I can touch it. And the role of public health is really to concretize interventions so that people can really understand the impact when they see it. So you propose, one of the 3 goals is that you propose that you are going to make connection for, I heard you guys say 25%, I heard you guys say 30% of attendees to your program, you are going to connect them to a mental health provider. That is concrete. Was it done? Was it not done? We can measure it. What are the 3 goals? So 2 more now remaining. So we have heard 1.
Okay, so let me just add something here. I think before even that one, because there has to be that awareness before the linkage. So the first one is we are talking about 700 here. I want to make a deduction here. 700 attendees. These people are going to be the change agents that are going to step down this knowledge to their households through those we are collaborating with. So we expect at least, we look at the population of close to 1 million within the county. We expect from them to see at least something like a 15% increase in the number of people that are now critically aware of mental health before even taking a decision. That way, they can be able to recognize as a layperson what exactly is what is termed as a mental health issue, and then for them to now seek, for care. And that is when the connection to referral centers comes in. So I'm saying here, 15% at least from these people that are going to be the ones to step this down as a change agent within the communities. Over.
Thank you. But you're going further. I'm taking you back to the base, right? So it's always important when you're talking with policymakers, politicians, elected members, to really be as basic as possible, because that is where you get impact. So at the end of this session, listening to you, the 3 things that I took from you is that this is a mental health education program seeking to educate at least 700 residents in Prince George's County. And you seek to specifically do 3 things. The first one is that you are going to provide at least 6 mental health workshops in Prince George's County. Number 2, you propose that you are going to provide mental health education workshops and resource fairs, right? And the third, you propose that between 25% and 30% of attendees in these workshops and the resource fairs, that you are going to connect them to a mental health provider. So if you do your math, for people who know math, like Brown, who is a computer scientist, or Marilyn, so you are seeking that 30% of people who do not have access to a mental health provider who attended your workshops will have a connection to a healthcare provider. Those are concrete, right? So if I'm giving you $50,000, I'm really going to say, this is what I'm paying for. Remember, at the end of it all, public health funding becomes economic transaction. Why will the governor of a state, why will the county executive give you money to execute program? What are they going to get in return? So if we gave you $50,000, what we're going to get in return is that the MEP program is going to provide workshops, you're going to provide resource fairs, and you are going to connect attendees to mental health providers. It has to be really as specific as that. If you struggle to explain it, then you can only explain it to maybe people like us who are here, PhDs, masters. You will not pass through the elected officials. And remember, your elected officials are not, some of them are PhDs, but they are not PhDs, right? They just want to get the information that could enter on their cell phone. What are you trying to do? Why are we giving you this money? So really, really concrete. So I had another question. Your group is a very diverse group. There is a lot of intersection between spirituality, i.e. religion, and mental health. How will your group ensure that you are providing a broader group for people of different religions, drawing upon their different religions? I'm interested in hearing how you will encourage Muslim participants to participate in this program, how you will encourage Christian participants to participate in this program, how you are even going to encourage people who do not affiliate Jewish or who do not affiliate with any religion, because that's really a major area, understanding how the religions talk about mental health illness and really leveraging your rootedness, your cultural competence in those religions to draw upon the spirituality of delivering mental health workshop. Studies have shown that people don't even want to go to a clinic that has mental health written in front of it, right? So how do you really intend to address that? It's for you guys. Don't look at us. It's for you guys.
Yes, thank you very much. So I want to say it is something that is a hard and tortuous journey, but it's something that has to be addressed. It may take some time. One thing I noticed that even within each religion, there are still differences even amongst the religious leaders. And the truth is that if we must address this, we need to, have an advocacy to these people. So what I have noticed, even beyond mental health, is that sometimes when you take these community leaders, by storm with an advocacy and a lot of health education, some of them tend to agree partially, but they send a different message, to their congregation. So the best way to do this is to first of all meet them, and then convince them to have a meeting that will involve them and then their congregation. Now, the question here is that, are you saying, because it's very easy for people to be emotional at this point, are you saying they should all come? Because even some of these congregations, despite what they are being told, they will still want to go back to their religious leaders. But we are saying, you don't need to convince anybody by saying, no, this is demonic or whatever. Just tell them, in addition to coming to you, let them seek for healthcare, in the nearest, centers where they can access the services. By so doing, it's easier, to be able to get them to come for care or even, to come for consultation. If that doesn't happen, it will still be the same cycle. No matter what you do, they will still go back to religious. So a lot of work has to be done to the gatekeepers, who are the people leading them. In a way, it's just like saying the shepherd leading the sheep. If they are not so convincing to the people they are leading, no matter what they say, it's just like a lip service. And then we are still going to be, at the receiving end, despite all our work, in conducting advocacy. We just have to get them to be able to agree and convince their congregation to still seek, mental health services when and where necessary. That is the only way to go about it. No matter what you do, if you think you can just go ahead and do health education without involving these religious leaders and even the key community leaders, is still going to be back to zero. The progress may not even be there. So getting them to agree, convince them to tell their congregation, see, you people need to seek. We know that there is one God. You know that you want to believe that God can heal you, but you still need a route to where you can get yourself healed, and you need a professional. So I think that's just my point. Thank you.
Very good. Other thoughts? Other feedback, comments from the group, from guests, from visitors, everybody, the other group?
What about, I have a question though. When we talk about this Christian faith or whatever, what about is it possible, I'm asking the group right there, is it possible to have a combined, because we do have, I believe we do have Christian therapists or something like that, therapists within the Christian religion who do counseling to Christians. So can they have a combined program that does traditional therapy and Christian counseling for those people who don't want to leave their Christian values for the traditional methods? Can they have something that is combined, both Christian and traditional?
Yes, that's a possibility. And that's why I mentioned that at first, the advocacy goes to the religious leaders first. And then where you see or you observe differences, it's important to now, go to the next step, which is getting them all together in one place and also linking, like a health professional there so that they can also do the health talk. And then that way, gaining the support of the religious leaders will be very key, because that way it's not like you are saying it at their back. You are saying it in their presence, and you want them to also, put the weight behind it. There will still be some level of confidence that will be gained there, and it will go a long way. So yes, it's possible.
Good. So there are comments in the chat. We have Rita said that the 3 key objectives will be used to develop indicators that will help in monitoring the progress of the intervention. So in other words, the 3 goals that we have talked about, you can design metrics to evaluate the success of each of them, actually further strengthening the rigor of the program. Jocelyn talked about community advisory boards that you create by members of the community, and so that they can really be the people connecting with the religious community to be able to target this within their religions. I think I like that. And Marilyn added that this program could actually be a vehicle through which God helps people, right? Because there are also, we know that when people are ill and you go to the hospital, there is some spirituality there that the hospital is a vehicle through which you get help. And if we attribute everything to God, so the help you're getting from therapists, from doctors is also coming from God. Really, I never heard that. That's really a very compelling reason. The questions I asked today are meant to help you really factor in some of the questions you might get, some of the challenges you get in implementing this program, really understanding the reality of on the ground, right? You can propose things in textbook, but Public Health 360 is about implementation on the ground. So here are the things, for the LUCID program, for the MHEP program, really thinking about the community scope of the project, the expertise you have, opportunities for cultural competency, but also making sure that you are very precise and succinct in the way that you are engaging policymakers, leadership, so that your program will get and gain more support and ultimately get some funding. So fantastic. The two groups, you guys have been really, really good. I took a lot of notes. So I'm going to open it up now for general comments. And then after that, we are going to wrap up. And Brown is going to tell us what is going to happen the next. How soon you're going to get your certificates. And then, we can get feedback from other people. So I'll open it up now for some comments, some feedback, some felicitations, how you felt over these 3 months. And then we'll take an announcement from Brown. Who wants to go first?
I would like to thank Dr. Azawin and the faculty of Global Health and Education Projects for providing me with this opportunity to gain such highly skilled training and to increase my knowledge in public health. And I have learned a lot. The experiential learning combined with my graduate degree program is an excellent fit. This online Global Health and Education program, Public Health 360, is truly an innovative program that I think can help so many people. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. You are still hanging around until we got to pay the debt we owe into UWF. Thank you so much. Excellent. Comments, feedback?
I just wanted to say, again, very much appreciative of the experience and the knowledge that I was able to get. And I'm sure that's a common theme that we're all feeling today. And I would say that it very much pushed me and encouraged me to think outside of the box, and I think that we get in the habit of the way we work, the style, the patterns, and so forth. So I really appreciate being able to, be encouraged and inspired to think of other ways to better serve the community. And, I'm very grateful for GHEP for, all the efforts that are being made in the overall aspect of public health.
That is much appreciated. Working with people, different time zones, right? Sometimes we take things for granted, but making the schedule to work, hearing those other perspectives that are not the dominant perspective, can come with some humility. And the fact that you didn't quit means that you have that humility.
Okay, I really want to thank the entire team, my team specifically, and the faculty and staff of Global Health and Education Project. I really learned a lot, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. In addition, maybe it may be announced during the announcement time, but a couple of friends were asking me how they'll join the program as well. How do we apply? I tell them that they will apply. Probably they should check the website. So if more light will be thrown on that during the announcement, it will be good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bernard. Thanks. All the way from Thailand. Waking up, making all those calls. Excellent. Very good. So Brown, over to your announcements.
Quick question though, before I let you go.
Yes.
Thank you so much. For some of us who've been outside the public health field, I feel so good about it. And actually right now, I know which direction I'm going. And I'm gonna be bothering you a lot because I have so many ideas in my head right now. And it's all because of this program. I was really confused because I had this PhD and I didn't know what to do with it. But now I'm very, very clear about what I want to do. And the question I have is, some of the materials that we were using in class, well, I know once the class is over, we are kicked out of the platform, right? Is there any way that we can access it?
Brown.
Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. It was really a great 3 months, and I'm so excited. One is coming to an end, like Dr. said, I have my Saturday back until the spring section, right? So this first section, this is us, having that meeting, like I remember the day when you guys were asking, oh, how are we going to do this presentation? I say, well, on that day, you look back and you appreciate how far that you go in the program, right? When we're playing some of the videos. So the next cohort, we see what you've been able to achieve, and they'll ask the same question, and they will still get to the same place. 3 months is not that difficult to get by, but working under Dr. Romy, I know some of the days I wasn't there, like maybe if I'm there, we'll be able to dilute, but under his supervision, I really like the product you guys have brought out. And you should have the mindset now of, if the fund is here, how do you go about it? If you are called, because we have an RFA and it goes out every year. So it will look at the RFA from Maryland Department of Health. And if we call you, well, you've put in a proposal together. Come on, this is the email. Go ahead and apply. Let's see how it plays out, because that is how it rolls on, and you should be prepared to go ahead to implement this program. And to Bernard's question about next steps will be rounding up, going to ensure that all the materials that you are owing us as regards to the classroom is submitted. Go through each of them and submit them so that we will be able to close that chapter, then issue you your certificates. And over the period, you'll be seeing when we're highlighting some of the things that you guys did. Thank you so much for all of you who have submitted the fellow spotlights. We start doing that, and we'll spotlight all of you from time to time. And we'll be happy that if you share, so that your colleagues will see how the program have impacted you and how you have been able to work collaboratively with people in different parts of the world. And the skills and experience that you have drawn, and continue to network, connect with each other. And those are the networks that you can call on in times of need, so that you'll be able to, get the job done faster. It's like, who do you know? You know people around the world who can help you deliver on public health programs and, make changes necessary to bring the health of our community, global health, public health, to a better place, and continuing our mission in serving diverse community and underserved people. So, Bernard, yes, the next cohort will be in spring, I think either February or March, but we've not picked the date. You all will also receive an email so that you can share with your friends with the link of how you can go ahead and apply. They can even go ahead now and apply. Remember, tell them the spot is limited. You wanted to join in summer, but you now later pushed to fall. So tell them it's that process. It's like many are called, few are chosen, who will deliver and kind of carry on, with the goal, the aim, and the mission of the program, which is educating public health professionals around the world. We'll be sending that link out. And yes, Etta, you will still have access to the some part of the classroom, like some of the recordings, which you can review from time to time. But if anyone is not opening, you can reach out to me so that I can specifically, tell us what you need. We are here to assist you so that you will be able to, piggyback and see some of the materials that you can reference, to deliver and add more service to your community. So that is all from me, Dr. Romy. Back to you. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much.
Can you send that contact list again, Brown, so we can have it? Because I'm sure some of us will be contacting you directly.
Yes, please. Yes. I'll be able to. I will share it in the classroom. You can always download. Once I share it, keep it handy. Emails address are there, and you'll be able to reach us directly, and we can assist in whatever way we can. If I'm not, I share with Dr. Romy, copy in my response, and he will, get you to the right place.
Thank you so much, Brown. Like I said, the most important thing is that you are part of this family. You never be outside this family. The network is getting larger, and we welcome you. Some of you are reviewing for us. Some of you who are not, we're going to enroll you in the review. Like I mentioned at the beginning, one of the things we are planning is to see how we can do kind of a conference, an alumni conference or a global health conference, to decide what is workable, where is it going to be, where are we going to do it? And, what are we going to do in order to make it worthwhile for people to seek for funding in order to attend? So evidently, everybody's still going to be part of that. Continuing to review for us as journal reviewers, we went through that. So we are going to be able to leverage you guys and your expertise. You are all sitting on a lot of knowledge. Never you underestimate what you can do. If you have not done so, I want each and every one of you to connect to GHEP's both Facebook and LinkedIn, and connect with each other here, right? Everybody here should be connected with everybody, and you should all endorse each other. Did you hear that correct? There is an endorse function in LinkedIn where you can endorse. Jocelyn will endorse the people that worked in her group. People that worked in her group are going to endorse her. And LinkedIn will ask you, how did you know this person? You're going to say, Jocelyn and I worked together creating a program on this. In that role, she was this. And Brown can provide a text. She was the program leader for this. I'm telling you, people look at those things. I'm really telling you, people look at those. And Jocelyn will, in turn, recommend each of you. And what you have is you have this exponential growth in your network. We'll push information out on GHEP. One of the people actually that joined today is one of the faculties we are inviting to teach R. How many of you know about R, the statistical software called R? Okay, so R is like Stata, like SPSS, like SAS is an open source statistical software that people use for data analysis. One of the feedback we got before was whether we can do that. So we're going to do an R workshop that we are going to open up. So we're going to need help from you guys. We're going to leverage a couple of you guys to help us in putting that together and marketing that globally. We had a training on peer reviewed that some of you joined where we had over 500 people in attendance in a session. So we are hoping to replicate the same thing for R. A number of you who are local here, I know that GHEP is going to start doing some work with you. If that work involves submitting any of the work that you have done in the project, we will let you know. But we recognize there are also some limitations if you don't live in the United States. So we are aware of that. We'll give you, we say you're a nice person, but we're not gonna find what is it that we can do to compensate you, because there are some regulations around that. But the key is, you will not be forgotten. We are open, reach out, email, leverage these 3 months, right? If you're looking for a job, give them my name, give them the organization. I have done recommendations for people, and this is fantastic. If you're applying for grad school, this is phenomenal. We had a fellow in the last cohort. He had applied for a particular scholarship and didn't get it, finished the Public Health 360, and we helped him review his statement of purpose, review his resume, and he got the fellowship. And he's in between 2 countries in Europe. So it could be you, it could be in the job, anything you want to talk about. So this is great. Again, I want to thank our alumni that joined. Rita, thank you. Hassan, thank you. Dr. Magnus, thank you. And our friend who is COHPOH iPad, as well as Chidebele. Thank you, all of you, for sticking here. I know there were many people who came in and left, but once we finish, I think we target about, once we get everything in place, you will get certificates of completion, e-certificates of completion in about 2 weeks. Sometimes it could be sooner. But the journey continues. Go ahead and do us proud. I am looking forward and going to be seeing the greatness that you guys are all going to become. I am really excited and want to thank you again. Have a wonderful weekend. Say hi to your families. God bless you all, and be well. Thank you.
There's no graduation song for us. Okay.
Yes, that's the graduation song. Bran, we're not hearing the audio. You can stop and reshare again.
Jerusalem.